Don't know what's going on with this thing. Good morning, guys. How you doing? Welcome to the platform. I noticed from the other day that for some strange reason, my laptop is taking forever to turn on. And I am not a fan of this at all. Not a fan of this at all. It appears my power button has been deceived, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm not gonna do is allow the devil to mess up the starting of this show. So I'm gonna go from another computer. This computer is not my fast or power computer. That one is. But for whatever reason, I've been experiencing these issues with that computer from the other day. Haven't been able to go or even have an appointment with the computer tech about it. But yes, here we go. See that? Well, this needs a plug in. I guess the battery dead. There we go. Turn on. And this one still don't turn on it. I much rather use this one, you know. So you guys doing this Saturday morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please mash up the like button for me now. Tell me where you are watching from, wherever you are in the world. From Africa to Malaysia to Europe, the Caribbean, United States, South America. Tell me where you're watching from. All right? All right. Share that with us, or share that with me. We have Antonio. Good morning, Antonio. Happy Saturday. How are you doing, my brother? So, the third term unloading, disaster, plague, bad luck, God's wrath on this nation. Everything is happening, ladies and gentlemen. And nobody can say it's a lie. All the signs are there. Miss Universe falling in front of the world was symbolic, prophetic. The Reggae Boys' defeat or them not getting a direct qualification to them not getting a direct qualification to the World Cup on our own home soil. Many opportunities. We see that the government now, which we are going to talk about this morning, is actually running the same playbook as Beryl. The excuses are coming out, ladies and gentlemen. The third term is not loading. The third term of prosperity is not loading. The prosperity has not loaded. But you see, it's one thing, you know, when they don't listen, you know. When the pastor and the prophet speak, we don't listen. Because I'm going to remind you of something that prophet, the apostle, Pastor Peter Chambers said about this administration. And it's a commentary that I have pinned on my platform on TikTok. Listen, hold on. I thought I had this turned on, so.
Bluetooth mode.
I know this not turned on, see you know? Mighty God. So, if you guys think that God is with this administration, then you're clearly not looking at the signs. And also, you're clearly not reading your Bible. What the Bible say? What you say about righteousness? A nation rejoices when the leadership is righteous. A nation mourn when it's unrighteous. I say go. I don't remember the saying. I don't remember the Bible verse. One of my astute brothers here and our sister in the chat can.
But the judgment, and the Lord told me to tell the leader of this land that as long as they are in power, trouble is going to follow them. Right now,
as long as he is the leader of this land, trouble is going to follow them. And even with all of the trouble, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go back to something that Mr. Floyd Morris, Senator Floyd Morris said in the last part of his address on in Parliament yesterday. Yes? Even the blind can see that Jamaica needs God's intervention. So big up Senator Professor Floyd Morris. Even the blind can see that Jamaica needs God's intervention.
Morris, recognized.
Is the land? Is it that we are going to see, Mr. President, the fact of the matter is that a lot of what we have seen happening across the island in the devastation of homes and buildings are attributed to poor construction. And a part of it is that the monitoring and evaluation systems
Hey, Melbourne.
have been lapsed. And so we have to make sure we strengthen those.
Let me address this labor right. Because you can't be a Christian, you have to be a labor right. You can't be somebody who believes in a God. I made that statement a while ago. If you read your Bible, prophets go to a leader, declare God's word all over the Bible. And when they disobey, what happened? Hello? 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 Anything? Oh, okay. Andrew Holness has gotten warning. Warning, back a warning, back a warning. From in the pandemic, we can pull up the video with the pastor lady, right target, tell him say the nation needs to turn away from them wicked ways. And as the government, they need to declare 3 days fasting and prayer. From in the pandemic, they have not done that. And right after judgment hit Jamaica of Melissa, God ravished Jamaica with Melissa. The men and women of God declared again that Jamaica needs 3 days fasting, mourning and repentance. And Babs go do 2-day prayer, spitting in the face of God. I want to feel like say, this government is favored by God. On a sick man. On a sick. On under spell. On under spell. This government that is pushing Obia is favored by God. On under spell. This government that signed the Samoa agreement for teach our children all different types of colorful ways that they must be anything else but what God made them sexually. This government, two of the major things that where God frowned upon as sin. You can see it all over the Bible. Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed. Destroyed. No matter talk about Obeah and witchcraft and voodoo Just take a look at 80 with neighbor. Disaster after disaster after disaster after disaster after disaster. And that is the road that Andrew Holness government, through action, has brought us. And you're talking about me being stupid? Clearly, you not have no sense. Or you're blind spiritually. Or you're not even connected with the Most High. Clearly. Wagwan Tissa. Clearly. You're sick, man. And I mean that in the most raw. You're sick. You're sick in your head. The mental illness. Let me play. The mental illness of Jamaicans. The mental illness. Where is the clip? Eh? The arrogance, the pride. Pride coming before the fall. What's she there? Oh, my WhatsApp, she there now. Oh, this just come up a while ago. We have mass control in the building. Bolo, good day. It needed a third term for Andrew to show himself. Don't stress out over faithless. Over the faithless. Hey, big up yourself, mass control. Me not stress out. You have to make an example out of them, man. They should be embarrassed. They should hold on their head down and repent immediately for coming on here and trying to defend the indefensible. The indefensible. Shame. Shame, shame.
The Jamaican prophecy has fulfilled, and Jamaicans are of various kinds. The Caribbean people are of various kinds. The prophecy is now going viral in their area. Hurricane Melissa has come and torn up, mashed up the place, as God said. Now I'm being told that I'm a false prophet. Now I'm being told you should shut. The Jamaican prophecy has fulfilled, and Jamaicans are of various kinds. The Caribbean people are of various kinds. The prophecy is now going viral in their area. Hurricane Melissa has come and torn up, mashed up the place, as God said. Now I'm being told that I'm a false prophet. Now I'm being told you should shut up and start talking about us. Imagine the mental illness.
The mental illness. A prophecy just fulfilled. And you're going to tell the prophet to shut up. A woman of God, a servant of God, the mental illness. And this is why the arrogance that you guys have adopted from the leader of Jamaica. It's like osmosis. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. Neru, how you doing? Big up yourself. Good morning in your area. Hey, he cannot fix it upon him own, Michelle. The government has excluded God out of the equation by not following what the men and women declared that God declared. 3 days fasting and prayer. Them don't do it all now. And I'm telling you, if you think God is playing, ladies and gentlemen, the 40 days that Pastor Jeffrey shut the word, even Pastor Peter Chambers talk about the 40 days, you know. In the story of the Bible, the scripture was read, you know. But Pastor shut the word said, watch and you will see. The 40 days between October 28th and now, everything is going wrong for Jamaica. Everything is going wrong for Jamaica. And there's more to come. And ladies and gentlemen, guess what? On December 8th, Andrew Holness' case against Paul Buchanan is being, it's going to be in court. You cannot make this up. You know when the 40 days end? December 8th, December 7th. Tell me that is not God. Alright, listen. It's a beautiful time to be alive. Let me tell you that. And you know why? You are seeing God's work manifest in real time, like swiftly, accelerating. You don't have to wait much. It's a beautiful time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. If you had any doubt that God is real, now is not the time. There's no doubt that God is real. If you had any doubt, at this point you cannot. It's you wanting not to see that God is real. You just want to be stiff-necked at this point. You don't want to admit the fact. This a big up yourself. You see up on the two platform them. Yes, God beat us. God beat us. Hey, me say God beat we. Only thing he done. Hey, God is calculated enough. I tell you, say, yo, Jamaica, it's not that I want it to happen, but God will has to be done. God will has to be done. God is a just God. God will has to be done. Has to be.
Prophecy 1 year ago has come true, and now you come after 1 year when it happens to tell me I should shut up. Shouldn't you have told me to shut up before I gave the prophecy? This is Nigeria all over again. This is Kenya all over again. This is South Africa all over again. Black people are the same no matter where you go. Proud to their own destruction.
Proud.
Can't listen, can't hear until they get a solid kick in the pants from God.
My
After
God.
the kick, wants to come and fight with the vessel. Did I put the water on the country? Same prophecy. People are in the comments falling to the ground, asking for mercy. But I've always told you that want to repent. I said, the punishment will come again. This is what God was laying on my heart when I was watching all the insults on TikTok. Shut up about us, gal. There's people on the prophecy right now. You can go and look at the comments. Why don't you talk about the sin that's in America? Do you think that I only have a mouth with one side to talk about American sin? Do you think that you're God's boss to tell him who I should talk about? Do you think you're higher than God, that after a punishment, there's not a piece of you over there in the Caribbean to kneel down and repent? You want to come and tell God, somebody, why doesn't God talk about the Jews and what the Jews are doing? Why is he on us? Because he has multiple feet and he can kick as many people he wants at the same time.
Simple.
He's got an eye for you and the Jews. He's got an eye for you and America. God's got an eye for everybody and a foot for every nation under the sun.
Everyone.
That's why.
Choo-choo.
The idea.
Choo-choo. Everybody. God have multiple feet. God is not limited. So everybody can get the smoke all at once. If God want all the world devastation and destruction and judgment, it will happen. But you don't decide and you don't dictate to God when it's your time for judgment. Jamaica has been spoiled. What I say? Jamaica has been spoiled by God's grace. Storm after storm after storm after storm after storm. Earthquake after earthquake after earthquake after earthquake. What's going on, Pamelia Jama? So good morning, Bolo, long time no see. Melissa had me away, recovering slowly but surely. Pamela, the word on this platform is that, and it's not just this, well, I only can speak for my platform, but I am echoing the sentiments of the remnant. Repent. All we have to repent. Cheryl said, howdy, a lot of people did a lot of bad stuff, and this is retribution. Exactly. Send this angel to work on his behalf many times. Yes, of course. Of course. Him can't silent God people. Not true. Miss Dallas said, I am so happy PMP did not win. No, a Father God, you know, me telling you, September 3rd, you know. In the night I did a live stream. I was doing it from the count. And I came here and I think I went to my bed 2 a.m. in the morning. And I said to you guys, watch God work. Me say, God is in control. God is up to something. Me telling you, me say, God is up to something. I couldn't conceive this. But I was listening to the prophets. And the prophets did say, Pastor Peter Chambers said, God told him to brush the very dirt off his foot and leave this nation to their own demise. And you see them continue to mock the servants of God, and God continue to beat we. We are get beaten right now. A beaten a come back at one another like, whoa. Liquor rain fall and place all a mash up. Joanne, what's up? Good morning from Canada. Bless up yourself. You understand? Liquor rain fall and the place mash up. flat car cover in a water. Just little rainfall, just a little rain. Gotta beat with left, right, and center beat, and it's like the people them just like them in a one days. Like where Sister Carrie and said, the people are like this, they're in a daze. Them really witch, them really look like them bewitched for you, you know. There's no way you can come on here and defend the indefensible. It is so wrong. It is so wrong. I'm not accepting. People don't have to wake up in a Jesus name. All of the labor right them I want me to talk to. We don't need to wake up in a Jesus name. One of the things said the Miss Universe falling like that was just normal. That was so simple. I mean, when I heard about it, I said, "Oh my God, Jamaica, we're done." That was a sign and wonder. Like me, I said, "No man, yo, me never need no prophet to come tell me say that a sign and wonder. Me only get confirmation say a sign and wonder when me hear the prophet them say." Bear attack in Canada, school children injured, 11 injured. Wow. Canada, my friend them in Canada, be careful. Joan, be careful here, Ryan. What's up, my brother? Yeah, man, me I tell you, man. So there's this article where my virgin as you can see him on the thumbnail, Perry in Christ. Big up Perry. Doing an amazing job, by the way. You know, over there. So we're going to get into it. Mighty God. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has signaled that his Jamaica Labour Party administration may not be able to immediately fulfill some of the promises it made during campaigning for September 3rd general election. Let me read that again. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has signaled that Jamaica Labour Party administration may not be able to immediately fulfill some of the promises it made during campaigning for September 3rd. Now, I have a couple questions just right off at the top of my head. Pause. Has Andrew Holness identified what things specifically he won't be able to fulfill? Unfulfilled promises. What specifically he has identified from the promises that he made to the people of Jamaica that he will not be able to fulfill because of Hurricane Melissa? They did the same thing with Burial, you know. Oh, Burial, the economy, Burial. While the whole Caribbean was growing their economy, 2%, some 3%. Right? After Burial, that was damaged way more than Jamaica. But they grew their economy within a year. You remember? You guys remember? Ralston Hyman spoke about it several times. So now, Andrew Holness is playing chess with the people of Jamaica. Right? He has just ignited a fail-safe. Fail-safe, we're going to fail. So for our safety as a power, as the ruling party, that you guys don't think that we have failed, right? We're telling you from now that we will not be able to fulfill the promises immediately. What you say? Mr. Dollar said PMP promise no matter no what about his promise from the first to the See, this is the thing. Andrew Holness have promises from backlog. And his administration have promises from backlog. One of the biggest promises that he promised that is not fulfilled is growth in the economy and prosperity. So this now, you know, let's read. It says here that Prime Minister Andrew Holness, also, I wanted to know specifically which promises he's not going to be able to fulfill. Because obviously he must have made some type of assessment. And then, I'm not going to assume he did. Has he made an assessment of what actually they'll be able to fulfill? Is there a timeline as to when these things can be fulfilled? You know, some type of estimate. So we need to know what won't be fulfilled. And then we need to know what is the timeline for it to be fulfilled. What is the plan of action to get us to the point where you are fulfilling the promises that you made to the people? Be it all there is some type of delay. What is the timeline? What is the detailed plan? Do you have a plan or no? And who is helping to put this plan together? Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to freeze up. I have to watch that phone there now. I have to watch that phone there. You not see me? Lord have mercy, people ain't can't see me, camera gone. People, if you can't hear me, just work with that, yeah, man. In the first 100 days, and he made an excuse for the first 100 days. I need the people of Jamaica to go back, and I want you to look back on the promises that the JLP made in their campaigning. That's what I want you guys to do, please.
Power off.
What the hell? Why this power off? It doesn't even make no sense.
Bluetooth
I
mode.
want you guys to look at. Lord have mercy. Where you say Africa are watching? Hey. Why? Everybody are watching. World are watching Jamaica right now. Jamaica the hot topic. Alright, so mechanic, alright, great. So it says here, Dr. Andrew Holness has signaled that his Jamaica Labour Party administration may not be able to immediately fulfill some of the promises it made during campaigning for September 3rd general election. Now, people, remember, you know, Andrew Holness. Where you say him need another term? What a banger! Empress, what's up, Empress? Me just see a message, me I scroll up because these two phones have a problem. This one, the messages pause and don't scroll up by itself. That one, the camera goes out. So you are going. May I turn off the camera on that one, yeah? And talk to you because I can't be bothered every minute. Me have to, you know, none of the camera them now work. I mean, I understand why. You understand? May I try it? Hold on. Alright, see camera come on back there? Alright. When some say the PM just talking for we to believe his all those things. I mean, we have to follow what he says, you know. And look at what does that mean for Jamaica. You know what I mean? The PM is too much in denial to actually do what he says. Man don't know what he's saying. He's too far gone. He might bite off more than what him can chew, in my opinion, but I am not offering him any excuses. Neither this administration. They were very boastful. They were very prideful. They claim to say them is the one that manages and grows the economy better than anything else and what it is and the other thing. So make we see how it go then now. Anyway, this is in the light of the focus now being placed on getting the country back on track in its shortest possible time. Following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa on October 28, the billions of dollars it will take to recover and build and rebuild. As much as possible, we are going to try to keep our commitments from election manifesto. Really. Colleen, what's up? As much as possible, yeah, manifesto. But as I said before, we don't want to slow down the development of Jamaica as we pursue the recovery and reconstruction, said Holness on Thursday during a media briefing at Jamaica House, where he announced the establishment of multi-stakeholder body that will be in charge of Melissa's reconstruction efforts. The Prime Minister was asked whether the administration would be able to keep its election promises, including commitment to double the national minimum wage and one-off payment of $100,000 to some student loan borrowers. Responding, Holness said there are going to be fiscal choices for the government, meaning, do I spend the limited resources now on X or do I spend it on Y? So the general rule would be, if spending on election promises is not something that is going to yield immediate greater results than spending it on the recovery, on the reconstruction, then we would go for what yields the greater overall results. So I am calling on the Prime Minister of Jamaica to make an assessment of what is going to be spent on X and what is going to be spent on Y, and then let us know what promises is going into the back burner from them September 3rd promises. Because we have to hold them accountable. He should have been shamed. It wasn't for PDTV and others, would be a lot of deaths. No, on a joke, a serious thing. You never tell a lie about that, Miss Dallas. Facts you attack. It's all of the people them that gave willingly outside of the government that stepped the rise of death toll in Jamaica after Melissa. He stated that it was for this reason why the government is in place, and suggested that such matters are rigorously debated in his cabinet, which he said is made up of fiscal conservatives and others who are more minded to spend on human concerns and so forth. It is a good balance in cabinet. We're going to debate them, and I'm sure that there are some things that we won't do right away and some things that we will continue with. The commitment that we have is to maintain a government as much as possible, keep moving forward to keep the commitments. But if there's a trade-off to be made, we will make the trade-off on what is best for growing Jamaica. You hear that? Growing Jamaica. Growing Jamaica. That is what the trade-off will be for. Growing Jamaica. So if you see the government making decisions that does not benefit growing Jamaica, we will go back to this article. Yeah, man. And we are going to raise the voice in concern. 3 days before Jamaica went to the polls, Prime Minister announced that if re-elected, his government would double the national minimum wage from the current. Hey, how do you feel? Man a plan and God a wipe. You know, say Andrew Holness government. Let me play something again, because you know, don't really understand when they say this government is not favored by God. It's like when you feel like say, me just talk. The government is not favored by God. Right, yes, so.
But the judgment, and that the Lord told me to tell the leader of this land that as long as they are in power, trouble is going to follow them. Right now.
As long as Andrew Holness is the leader of this land and this government, the JLP, trouble is going to follow them. I just needed to remind you guys of that. Doreen, how you doing? Good morning. She said, Jamaica have not been growing for 9 years. That's the thing. That's why, yo, I'm telling you, Tissa, Exactly. Exactly. But we are reading what I'm saying now. We are reading what I'm saying now. And I make footnotes, you know. Jamaica has not been growing for 10 years. The man them get the economy and they promise 4 in 5 or 5 in 4. And that was a colossal failure. Like everything else them touch. Look at the housing place so them try to ship on Operation Pride. And for them housing thing done Operation Shame. People buy them house and don't live in there yet mash up. No resistance to the storm. The paper was torn and shredded by the wind. Cheap material. Cheap. Sometimes less than 1% growth in the economy. He said minimum wage would initially be increased by 2,500 to 1,800 and 18,050. $18,500 in the next fiscal year, which begins April 2026. Hey, boy. About a week later, Finance Minister Favour Williams, speaking at the launch of JLP's election manifesto, announced that if the party was returned to office, students whose account with the Student Loan Bureau are in good standing will receive a one-off grant of $100,000. Not gonna happen. Even if only some of the JLP election promises are implemented, it will cost the government billions of dollars at a time when the preliminary estimate of physical damage from Melissa currently stands at US 8.8 billion. The country is also losing billions of dollars because of the shutdown and a number of sectors, mainly in the southwestern section of the island. Now, ladies and gentlemen, all of this that he's saying in the article, yes? What I would love to ask the Prime Minister, have they considered taking down their pay? Have they considered reducing their pay to supplement the rebuild? Has any journalist questioned them on that? We're going to put it out there now because I realize that some people are watching me now. Yeah, man, some people are watching me. The videos are getting around because of you guys on TikTok and on YouTube sharing the videos. And some of the ideas that I have put out, I have heard. I have heard them come out. So I want to ask the government, right? Are you guys considering lowering your pay? The $28 million where you make a year now, Jonas, that if you cut to about 12. You understand? Yeah. We need back that 16 million there for the year. And everybody else down the line, I said it already, at 30%. 30% is full time now. The upper echelon feel the pinch instead of everybody else. Because when Jamaica needed to pivot and rebuild, when the JLP mash up the economy and our relationship with the World Bank, right, Tissa, mash up the economy. And Portia had to be honest with the people and let them know that we have to do this, you know, and it will affect you. After Portia got us back on our team, our finance minister, brilliant, got us back. Exactly, I mean, if you have a pay cut, after she got us back, what did the government do after her? What did Andrew Holness do? You know what Andrew Holness did? They raised their pay. They raised their pay. After the people of Jamaica suffered to get us back into the space where we could now pivot to grow. Andrew Holness and his government selfishly pay themselves and increase their pay. You want a more wicked and uncaring government? Me say, if you want to see, if you guys want to test Andrew Holness government to see if them really care about all hands on deck and really rebuilding Jamaica and making sacrifices, personal sacrifices, money. This is my proposal. I believe the government, every government official, 30% of their pay needs to be rolled back and given to the efforts of rebuilding Jamaica. Yeah, man. And they used freeze wages. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The people of Jamaica are the ones that suffered. Their income is the ones that suffered. Zine? So let me go to the clip. Big up me, General Mr.
But make sure that you serve that purpose, but is of the garbage. We've been asking for it for weeks now. Weeks. How many persons have the professional experience to get rid of large amounts of garbage and waste and things of that nature? No guidance. People are just left on their own to figure it out. But your Prime Minister is in South Africa.
Yeah, let me address that. Talk about jumping ship. Let me tell you something. In a time like this, when so many Jamaicans are suffering, Andrew Holness is taking a flight with a convoy of people to spend our tax dollars. Meanwhile, people in all these places, hungry, no shelter. You don't think those millions of dollars used to travel could be used to help the people? Eh? Jamaica, what? I honestly want to know what you think. Because I don't know what me think. That is absolutely inconsiderate of the Prime Minister. He couldn't do a Zoom call. Hold on there. I'm almost sure say there was a point where Andrew Holness did criticize Mama P for something similar. If I'm not mistaken. Because me here, you know, because I'm not really astute with all of the history and the politics, you know. But I'm sure I heard a video speaking specifically, right, so.
Portia Simpson Miller.
Right, so.
Why him never stay and take him own advice? Why him never stay and take him own advice? I'm going to read out when they tell Portia.
Yes.
Right? Opposition leader Andrew Holness suggested in Jamaican Parliament that Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller should use Skype for government's international affairs to save on travel costs instead of traveling frequently. But why him never stay and take him own advice? I'm going to read out when they tell Portia. Right?
Jermina.
Opposition leader Andrew Holness suggested in Jamaica.
Big up yourself, Jermina. St. Martin in the building. Whole heap of respect. Big up the people from St. Martin. Mass Control said that's like a slap in the face. Country in chaos and Andrew left. So Andrew, you couldn't do a Skype call. You couldn't do a Skype call. You had to be there. I am sure anybody or whoever they are would understand that, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to be there physically, but given what is happening in my country and the fact that so many operations is being run in my office, as the captain of this ship, it is absolutely necessary for me to be here. It is pivotal that I am here to steer the ship in the right direction. That is leadership. This is the second time he's left in 1 week. I heard that the Prime Minister left to kiss the wall and go pray to the wall. Use a KJ, what's up? When he won the election. Is that true? In Israel. He didn't come and attack the Jamaican people that voted for him. He went to kiss the wall. Is that true? I'm just asking.
But why him never stay and take him own advice? I'm going to read out when they tell Portia. Right? Opposition leader Andrew Holness suggested in Jamaican Parliament that Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller should use Skype for government's international affairs to save on travel costs instead of traveling frequently.
I cannot tell you.
So, Andrew. Hey, thank you so much, Tissa. Appreciate it, darling. Andrew, wouldn't it be wise to save on travel costs? We need all the money and the dollars we can get. We just had a devastating storm. No, Labourite, my reason with the Labourite, talk the truth. Don't be a die-hearted person. Want to not talk the truth. This was a good move by the Prime Minister. This was a necessary move at this time. I want to not be honest with me. I give you the latitude to be honest. When you can be honest now, because I know so now watch. Is this the right time? I want to have to subscribe to my platform so they can actually type. So if you're not subscribed yet, it's going to take 20 minutes before you're able to type. Yes. After 20 minutes, you're going to be able to type. I welcome everybody. Sub up. View the content. Oh, Sassy, my darling. Sassy, you got to make sure you're ready, baby. You got to make, I put it on my status, boo. You got to watch my status, baby. Sassy, aren't you a part of my WhatsApp channel? You don't have to be a part of the WhatsApp group, but you should be a part of my WhatsApp channel. On the WhatsApp channel, when I put the link there, nobody sees your number, nobody not gonna bother you. You know what I mean? There won't be any situation like that. Alright, so if you want the link to the WhatsApp channel, let me know, because I post videos. I even post videos there, like shorts that I put out, that I wouldn't even post in the groups. You see me? So yeah. Michelle says, like how him love witchcraft, he will go for a consultation from Zulu Chief. Lord have mercy. Mighty God, please, may I beg you, no, I don't want to think about it. Hey, Tissa say, I'm not a lab rat, but that's not a good move. It's not. George says, Andrew Holness is out of control and heading to a crash and hope he will not survive what he is. No, I'm not. George, I am not advocating, I am not promoting any harm coming to the Prime Minister. That is not my prerogative. I don't have the authority where that is concerned. Right? If it is God's will for anything up to any way, none of we cannot stop that. Based on the fact that God is sovereign and he is the one that judges fairly. Andrew Holness, however, has been given countless warnings as to how God wants things to happen in Jamaica, and he has refused whatever the gods decide for him. I saw you go. No, we can't go over God's authority. I done it done. But I'm not going to advocate or say I wish that something happened to the Prime Minister. No, I'm not wishing nobody on him or anybody else. Because you see, I want my heart to stay clean, because I don't want my heart corrupted and then God go turn against me because me not holy good, you know? Yeah, so let us not allow Andrew Holness to influence us to defile our own selves and our own cloth in front of God. Let us not do that. All right, George? All right. Because them are watching, you know. And even if they weren't watching us, I see them energy. All right, moving on. Come through, Perry.
Your prime minister is not even in the country. The captain has left the ship.
Mighty God.
It is almost mirroring when a ship is sinking and the captain get a lifeboat and go and left everybody on the ship.
Mad. Seriously, on a joke?
So our people are not only fighting against outbreaks such as leptospirosis, tetanus, and other things, even dengue and the mosquito. All of that is a call for concern. Rising waters, contaminated environment, but now there is no leadership when it comes to the relief effort. You know how I know that there is no leadership? It was touched on last night and on Media Connection, but I have to bring it up again because the director of ADPEM is clueless. Nobody from ADPEM is effectively engaging the people to guide them and to lead them.
It is my opinion that Andrew Holness set up the people in front of ADPEM. Him jump ship. Yeah. It is my opinion that he set up the people of ADPEM. He set them up for failure. So you're telling me that ADPEM has been operating for 45 years and they don't have a proper inventory management system? Because according to Andrew Holness, they are currently looking to improve that system. So I want to know, what was the system's capacity before? What improvements needed to be made and why? What was lacking? Is it that too much aid is coming in and them cannot document the aid fast enough? Is it that they're understaffed? What is it? Because it doesn't make any sense to me that you have a Office of Disaster Preparedness Management System, Office of Disaster and Preparedness Emergency Management Organization, right? ODPEM. ADPEM, right? And they don't have a inventory management system, a competent inventory management system. You would think that they would be prepared to receive and document aid. And according to Andrew Holness, that system needs improving, and they're currently improving it. What was there before? What was it? There's so much things that bother me. Like, I'm genuinely confused, you know? Me not understand the logic. 45 years. We need some clarity. Jamaica needs transparency. Dallas said the man too lie and thief. We need some clarity and we need some transparency, Jamaica. We can all agree that if you was to really sit down and critically think about what is going on, it's like the arms of control all over the place. They don't have control. It's like they really genuinely don't know what they're doing. And I don't know about you, but that is very concerning because we don't only live in a hurricane belt, but we live in an area that is prone to earthquakes. What is the preparedness for an earthquake in Jamaica. If the ODPEM cannot manage a Category 5 storm, how are they going to manage to prepare the people and possibly recover from a massive earthquake? How are they going to do that? Jamaica, I think we don't really understand how much trouble we're in, you know. This is not gaslighting. Just think about it. Think about it. Genuinely think about it. If ATPEM cannot deal with simple, to the point where the Prime Minister decided that he had to carry them into his office because there were gaps. If there were gaps to prepare for a Category 5 storm, what about an earthquake? We are in an earthquake zone. We have been warned by the earthquake professionals of a potential big earthquake. There's prophecy around an earthquake and tsunami for years. Thank you so much. It is crazy how they're doing this job in the first place and be so unorganized. That is true. It's laughable. Bolo, there was no gap. It's about controlling the money. No, you see, Tissa, you have to use their words against them, you know, and ask the questions. Because according to him, there were gaps. If that is true, then the ODPEM is not equipped. Oh, by the way, the ODPEM being in the office of the Prime Minister is a temporary situation. And so what's going to be the permanent solution? So when them deal with this thing now, and the ODPEM is operating on their own, and how temporary is that? Is it temporary like 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, a year? What is temporary? Is there a timeline for the ODPEM to come out of the office of the Prime Minister? These are all questions that I would love to see answered. Right? Because what's going to be the permanent solution for ODPEM? ODPEM needs to be able to operate independently. Remember when there was a potential tsunami watch? I think it was last year or early this year. I was livid. Although the tsunami didn't come, there was an earthquake somewhere around, what's his name? Cayman Islands. Who remember? Nice, proper size earthquake around Cayman Islands waters. And there was no alert. There was an international alert for Jamaica where tsunami watch was. And I said to myself, what happened to the system? And they even came out and said some foolishness. They responded, and it further let me know how vulnerable Jamaica is. So if there was a tsunami watch, time would be of the essence in terms of, this is just me thinking out loud, time would be not be our friend. So you would need to alert the people immediately about a potential tsunami coming so they can move to higher land, higher part in the country. Me just say, there was no alert in Jamaica. No all-island alert. Where's the all-island alert system for a tsunami? Where is it? When they hear the horns go, brrr, everybody know what time it is. Up the hill. Where is it? Leave from off of the coastline. the flatlands near the sea. Where is it? Where is the all-island blackout of the media? If people even there on YouTube, where is this international effort? Where YouTube stop everything and broadcast or alert for Jamaica. No matter what you're watching, take over. Blip. Now a power like that, you know, you wouldn't want that in the wrong hands. Because you wouldn't want to fake anything like that. So that is a whole other thing. But Jamaica, let's just stick to Jamaica. I can't go too far on the international level. Let's just stick to Jamaica. Where is the all-island alert? Sirens. String up all of the light posts them. Where the all-island alert there? So when you hear that, anywhere one light post there, you hear it loud. Everybody knows that when you hear that sound, it is time to go to the hills. Where is that system? We in trouble, boy. Let me tell you something. Boy, we in trouble.
Through the rebuilding process, persons have to be trying to figure out this thing on their own. And that's why when Damian Crawford asked the director of ADPEM, how many waters going to the west? He looked to the ceiling as if the answer was there. You know what?
Hey. No, listen, I said the same thing, but I enjoy seeing other people react to this stuff. Because it's ridiculous, you know? The man was like this. We'll get back to that. For most of the questions that was asked, you know, I don't know. One of the time, Damian Crawford had to save him at the end. Listen, we never asked those questions, so we'll talk. In the UK, you have underground bunkers. No, we are not a third world. We are not a first world country. So I'm going to put that into consideration. However, the bare minimum, ladies and gentlemen, is not being done, is what I'm saying. The bare minimum. The country's leadership is not proactive. They're reactive. And this is why they can't grow the economy. And one of the other reasons is because of thieving. Thieving is the other reason why them cannot grow the economy. Them use them brain in the wrong ways. That is counterproductive to the masses of the people. Filling their own pockets. Oh, and in this disaster relief, they should find every way to fill the pockets of the Jamaican people. I know you guys got the warning in Cayman. Oh, you pronounce that? Selvanev? Selvanev?
Why? Because this government continues to fill up positions with their friends who don't have the qualifications to execute the task at hand. And because of that, the people are suffering.
Yep.
Because of that, the people are left on their own to try and figure this thing out. Where is the government in all of this? They've recently started to consider, and they've started to clear some places very, very late. Very, very late.
Exactly, Selvanev.
We already allow leptospirosis to break out before we even consider to clean up the place very, very late. So I'm saying, ladies...
No, you see where the leptospirosis break out is in Montego Bay, you know. What Melissa did, you know, was expose or accelerate what was already coming. The rat infestation in Moby is a disgrace. It was highlighted, I think it was in August or July. Let me see if I can find the article.
And gentlemen, don't you see what is happening in our country? The government, to me, is running around like headless chickens. And only their friends and die-hearted labor rights supporters are going to come out and say that they are the best thing since sliced bread. And they have to know how when it comes to crisis management and how they brought us through COVID so they can bring us through Melissa. God brought us through COVID. Thank the Lord God for his mercy. Because even now people are even questioning if this government is even disseminating the aid properly to the people who need it most.
And even the aid in burial, that was... Listen, let me tell you something, man. This government has a lot of blood on their hands, you know. This government have a lot of blood. And I stand corrected. The article states May 2025, which is worse. Because that was months ago. Food establishments temporarily closed in Montego Bay last month. May. April. So April would be last month. So from April, 25 food establishments were temporarily closed in Mobe because of infestation by rodents. These establishments had to be closed down. Mayor of Mobe, JLP, they have Mobe. They run that constituency. Albeit it's the same area where the hospital can't done bill yet. After how much years? So I stand corrected. This situation in Mobe was months ago. What was the plan of action, if any, by the mayor to deal with this rodent issue? So you see, it was already there, ladies and gentlemen. Hurricane Melissa just exposed it and brought it to the surface. And now we have a breakout of leptospirosis. My people in Mobe, please be careful. You know who I'm talking. If you're watching this, please. Bleach is your friend. What it name? Read what you need to read about how to prevent leptospirosis. The Jehovah's Witness, I have some family that is Jehovah's Witness. At that time when those things were like a pandemic back in the day, they had certain practices, cleaning practices, that pretty much limited them being affected by less than 1% as a group, when everybody else was like, it was going crazy. So there's ways. I need to call my people and ask her about that, you know. And yeah, I need to call them. It's been a while. And there's ways that, you know, you can really, practices that you can really do. But you have to be very, very strict. You have to be disciplined about those practices. Leptospirosis is no joke, ladies and gentlemen. No joke. The way you can contract leptospirosis is so innocent. They don't even know. So we need to read, we need to get educated. And I think that's a job for the ODPEM and the health ministry, where that education is concerned. Just like how them run ads for campaign, for election, they need to run ads, in educational ads, to prevent the further spread or contraction of leptospirosis. Dangerous, deadly. If this is not done, then again, blood on their hands. May 10th, 2025, ladies and gentlemen, that article came out. And from April, the rat infestation there, Mobe. I want you guys to think about that.
Take a look around you and ask yourself the question, are we doing enough when it comes to these relief efforts? The people don't have any water. The people are exposed to deadly diseases. The people are not getting any guidance. Many people don't assume that people know how to use a generator properly. That's the reason why we need proper campaigns from ODPEM, from the relevant authorities to say, hey, if you have access to a generator, if you're going to be using a generator, be mindful of how you use it. How many persons know say you're not supposed to even, the generator is not supposed to be inside your bedroom, side of your bed, or inside the house, even so.
I agree with Perry. People them need to be educated. Don't assume so they just know. Right? And business operators should be held at a higher standard. If business operators are not following the standard of safety where it is concerned, serious legal implications. Because if it leads to a person's breathing complication, that those expenses should be charged to the business. We have children, you understand? In public spaces. They say people die here in Canada over the same thing. I agree with Perry. You can't just assume that the people don't know.
How many persons know what is even carbon monoxide and the emissions that the generator produces? How many persons? Don't just assume that the people in the...
Yo, he's so right, brother. We cannot assume that the people them just know. And you see, it takes somebody that has a mind, not just an intelligent mind, but a caring mind for the people. It takes a group, a leadership that has a caring mind for the people, for them to think about these things proactively when they are doing what they are doing in terms of the reaction and recovery. Andrew Holness should never have flown out and jumped ship. There's just too much going on. And then spending money where we need for recovery. Next thing he's going to tell us that, how dare you guys, I spent my own money. I mean, the same money we are paying you. The same money that we are paying you. Him can't tell us him not have traveling allowance as the Prime Minister. And we're saying you're wasting our money to travel right now. All hands on deck. Nobody knows supposed to jump ship.
West knows how to do this thing. Just as how the government is quick to say, oh, this is a category 5, nobody could have been prepared for this. The people could not have been prepared to handle this and to maneuver this. That's why we need the experts to communicate with the people, to guide them through the process, so no more lives will be claimed.
Simple. Very
so when we say
very important point
that the government is reactive,
and not
these
proactive.
are the reasons why. Today in Parliament, Mr. Morris brought up the same concern that we've been trumpeting on this platform and in other places.
Karen Morning.
Long before Melissa, the relevant questions were asked in Parliament. Why is it that certain places, the certain debris were not cleared? Why some contractors weren't being paid to do their jobs to prepare us for the hurricane? Why some of the MPs weren't getting the assistance in their constituencies so that we could have dealt with the aftermath of Melissa in a better way? But
so that point is very important, because if you already have a messed up relationship with contractors not being paid by the government, and now we're in a crisis where we need all of them. As a matter of fact, based off morning, Celine, how you doing? Based off what Andrew Holness said, there's not enough trucks in Jamaica. And even with the ones that they do have, he doesn't want to take them away from projects that they're doing that would affect the economy. I was a bit taken aback by that statement, and the reason is this. Them working on the affected area is working on the economy, because as soon as those areas get to rise up back, and start operating in a normal capacity, that is going to boost the economy significantly. So I was a bit taken aback. A 1 and 2 project that these trucks might be involved in. I mean, you can't tell me that that circumvents getting St. Elizabeth, Hanover, Westmoreland, St. James, Trelawney, and all these other places back on track. You cannot tell me that anything that they're doing circumvents that mission. The longer these places take to actually get back on their feet, what is going to happen is that the economy is going to be very, very stagnant, falling, and it's going to have a economic depression and recession type of energy. So I don't know, maybe I'm not the expert on this, but that seemed not so sensible to me in terms of the argument that he was making. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And if I am, I accept that. But I don't think I'm wrong. Let's continue.
But when you ask these questions, the labor rights and their following tells you that you're being political. And they cannot see past the party you support. So even when Dr. Dawes in Parliament and at the PMP conference recently raised the concerns of the possibilities of catastrophe happening if we fail to act quickly. When Dr. Dawes said, hey, the more we delay, the more we stall, we risk the outbreak in diseases. He was said that he's playing politics.
Thank the residents of Southeast St. Catherine. This is really the minister, honorable minister. This is really not what Jamaica wanted to hear from him today. With a spate, well, if we are in tune to social media, member, we would know that there are questions hovering around about an Integrity Commission report. There are questions as to how we are really dealing with mental health in Jamaica and the renaming and rebranding of a hospital that has leaking wards, overcrowded patients, and no capital budget for about 5 years coming from the Ministry of Health. With previous announcements about destigmatization going back as far as from 2019 by the Honorable Minister, where residents are not growing their food at the Bellevue Hospital because of therapy, but because of sustenance, because the food budget has been cut. My response is governed by Standing Order 11A, Section 2. I can speak not just about the speech. No, you are speaking about the response, subsection 917. Okay. What has happened over the last week is that the Honorable Minister has been on a media tour deflecting from what is pertinent, his management of the Ministry of Health and Wellness. And we are seeing where announcements are made that the delay at the Cornwall Regional Hospital will not be as great as it was predicted to be. We are seeing about where the Children's Hospital is going to be delayed. We are seeing discussions finally about foreign...
Another one there. Another one there. That one there, well, Man. You want to find it, you know? Dr. Alfred does raise concerns about man-made disaster after Hurricane Melissa. All right. I should have put in Parliament. In Parliament. Which day was this? 2 weeks ago? Let's see.
The patients as fast as possible loaded into an ambulance and send them off with a hope and a prayer and what limited staff they can afford to send on that journey. The Black River Hospital has been devastated, and Salvamar Hospital, they have major infrastructural challenges, but even more so, the staff, they are also homeless, they are also living out of cars, many of them are hungry, and many persons cannot provide health care because they do not have the resources. We appreciate that the government has now opened the NHS stores and has started to send out supplies. But we must not be fooled into thinking that a field hospital being set up means that it is an appropriate response to a catastrophe of this nature. A hospital is secondary care. There is no primary care in any of the affected parishes at the moment. This means that the clinics are closed. It means that diabetics, hypertensives, persons with heart disease, kidney disease, those who have a diabetic foot ulcer, they are not being treated. And it means that they are going to have exacerbations and complications of their diseases. And already we are seeing where those who have access to the hospitals have been flooding the hospitals. We will see in the ensuing weeks an increase in mosquito-borne diseases. Within 6 weeks, we can expect outbreaks of dengue and whatever else is lying around, waiting for these appropriate conditions to manifest. The public health inspectors, they need to be empowered immediately so that they can start their food safety checks. They can inspect for water sources that they are potable, they have not been contaminated. Basic materials such as food, temperature, thermometers must be provided. We must increase vector control activities immediately. And this is not just fogging, but source control. Otherwise, we're going to see a massive outbreak of dengue. The gastroenteritis from the consumption of spoiled foods, already we hear reports of persons eating rotted or rotting carcasses. And the unavailability of potable water will lead to diarrhea, dehydration, and in the most vulnerable, the elderly, the children, and the pregnant mothers, it may mean death. We do not know what the true death toll is from the hurricane, but what we can expect is that if these public health issues are not addressed immediately, we're going to see far more deaths occurring in the aftermath of the storm, in this man-made disaster, than what occurred during the passage of Melissa, the natural disaster we're here to speak about. We must head this off. We must resource the hospitals. We must send relief staff to the hospitals. We must find a way to get health care in the communities that have been cut off up to recently and are still cut off. And the way we may fill that gap is by inviting and coordinating the hordes of volunteers who want to go in and give some health care. Medical missions have played a very important part in the provision of health care in far-flung communities. And it is this provision of primary care, the screening, the early intervention with the medications, the dressing of wounds, that have kept many persons from seeking health care at overcrowded hospitals. If we have dilapidated structures, if we have damaged structures that are understaffed, it is reasonable to ask that volunteers be coordinated to go and man these health centers in the rural communities through the different medical missions. So these things must be coordinated immediately. Organizations that want to donate food and especially water they must be accommodated. I've had complaints and I've tested the system myself, and I don't want to be overly critical. That is not the tone I want to project here today. But those who want to give are being frustrated by the process, and what is happening is that they are trying to make the journey themselves. The roads are blocked up. On our mission on Saturday, one of the buses broke down, and the relief bus took about 4 or 5 hours to make what would normally be a 2-hour trip to relieve the staff that were left on that bus. The roads have been congested, and it is frustrating persons who want to donate, but we must set up a proper distribution network so that those who are impacted most, irrespective of their antecedents, they get the resources that they need. It means not simply focusing on one particular area, but accepting that this hurricane tore through the entire Western Jamaica, and we must not ignore the plight of those who are in one parish. If the information that came to us through the media came late, and our attentions were already fixed on a particular area that was brought to the forefront of our consciousness. So in conclusion, my appeal is that we find a way to facilitate the donors of foodstuff, sundries, health supplies, and importantly, find a way to channel those who want to give service in the medical field so that we can organize relief missions to go to the communities that Nikisha spoke about, that Zulika spoke about, and others are bringing to the forefront of the nation's consciousness. We have to get medical missions into those communities, and they are coming with their resources, but there needs to be a greater collaboration between those entities and the government and the state agencies, as well as the opposition, because we have made ourselves available to work alongside the government. So again, we do not want to convert a natural disaster into a man-made disaster because of partisanship, but we should focus more on partnership. Thank you.
This was November 3rd. Five days after the storm, PMP held this press conference and was pretty much begging the government to have the PMP involved. They still have not done that, you know. They still haven't done it. Not on any level that is effective. They still have the PMP hands off. All of these things he suggested from November 3rd. He called it leptospirosis, everything. Lockjaw, he called all of it. And he told you exactly, he told the government exactly what they need to do. And he wasn't just talking. He has been in these communities. He has made himself available. He has teams that they went to these areas to help. At that hospital, can you imagine healthcare workers don't have food and water? That's how bad. I need people to understand. When I said the Jamaican government has failed the people of Jamaica. And what is worse is that they have failed us, and then they did not try to make it up to the people by pushing even harder. They are still making excuses. They're still standing proud and prideful and stiff-necked and foolish. And then the captain jumped ship and gone for it. They can't make this up. They can't make this up. I believe this was when he was in Parliament.
Prime Minister, thank you for that presentation. I have just 3 questions. One, can you confirm that 6 field hospitals were donated to Jamaica during COVID recently? Can you confirm the status? Six field hospitals were donated to Jamaica or built by the government. Can you, this was just a few years ago, can you comment on the status of these hospitals, if they, including the 3 from U.S. Southern Command, which are completely mobile, are up, disassembled, destroyed, or returned. And if we have field hospitals in Jamaica now, why aren't we deploying them immediately to the disaster areas rather than waiting for a shipment from Spain? Thanks.
Thanks, Member.
Speaker. Prime Minister, thank you for that presentation. I have just 3 questions.
That was November 4th.
Member from St. Catherine Southeastern, you are the spokesperson on health. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I address this noble House today in response to the Honourable Minister's statement, not to critique or engage in rebuttal, but to recognize, first of all, the hard work of the team at the Ministry of Health and the regional health authorities during this once-in-700-year event, and to augment the call for unity, empathy, and commitment to the amelioration of the conditions of our brothers and sisters most impacted by Hurricane Melissa. The hurricane has caused untold damage, and debates continue as to the adequacy of our disaster preparedness. History has taught us that plague follows natural disasters. We cannot fully prepare for a natural disaster, but we have the window of opportunity today to prepare for and possibly avert a public health disaster in the upcoming months. Dysentery, dengue, pneumonia, leptospirosis, and typhoid are already here in Jamaica. Malaria, yellow fever, and cholera are possible where people are living under tarpaulins, drinking river water, and practicing open defecation. In the midst of our cleanup and rebuilding efforts, be mindful that every action has a collateral benefit of preventing further loss of lives. We have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to fix not just health care, but the social determinants of health. But to do so, we must do it as one people, together. Everyone must help. Everyone must be allowed to help. And hegemony over decisions, donations, and deeds has no place in Jamaica today. Mr. Speaker, let us not be fooled by well wishes and token support. We must fix ourselves. Our former colonial masters have sent us just over £2 million, or 0.01% of aid to Ukraine, a region to which it has zero historical ties, save for the Crimean War. During said war, it was Jamaica who sent tangible aid to their forces through Mary C. Cole. Whereas we appreciate every ounce of aid, especially from the thousands sending their widow's mite, but aid from those who can afford to solve our problems is simply not enough to ward off an impending disaster. Again, we must fix ourselves together. We will be required to go above and beyond the call of duty to build back better than before, to build back stronger. Healthcare workers have lost their homes and possessions and are still required to be frontline workers while suffering from shell shock. They must be prioritized for any relief
and reconstruction. I recognize the minister's approach for that, and I am fully behind that suggestion. I will go further though by saying that homeless healthcare workers must be housed as soon as possible, so they do not have to worry about where they will shower and sleep while providing empathetic care.
Ladies and gentlemen, how many of those healthcare workers you think is housed? They're housed right now. You think this government has housed them? You think this government has made sure that them good are going to sell them one of the container house them? Not give them enough, sell them. I'm almost certain. So if we should take a look and a deep dive, this is what we're going to see. These are solid. These are things that you just have to do. Like, you know, like you don't have a choice. You cannot have healthcare workers, firemen, police, soldiers working in an already stressful environment. All first responders should be prioritized. And this is how you know, say, the government not ready. All first responders should be prioritized. Elder people should be prioritized. Putting a roof over them head, me are talking, you know, by the government, you know. Or placing them somewhere temporary so them have a roof over them head. And them can have some dignity and some, you know. So the whole of the first responder them that need help. Elderly people, women and children. All of those should be prioritized so they can get help from the government, aid from the government, housed by the government. Comfortable situation. People, I'm still calling on anybody that can help the young lady or reach out to her that is in the bus. We need to remember to link Andre because you probably have people on the ground. Anybody on the ground can contact or have contact with the lady that is actually living in the bus. She must have her baby by now. Mighty God. 9 months pregnant. I'm very worried about that lady and her situation. Very worried. But Christopher Tufton, me I try to find the exact moment when he did say, the man, good morning, Resilience, how are you doing? Long time no see. I was trying to find the point where he actually said to him, September 3rd done, election done. I try to find that clip, them want the date when he actually said that and what was he responding to.
I'm happy to announce that we have now identified lands for lease to purchase, but we have to now focus on KPH while we learn the lessons from the Cornwall Regional Hospital.
That before. That was before Melissa.
And that he had some agenda. But now we are seeing what persons have been concerned about. But it doesn't get any better. Because Ishmael, a humanitarian, known humanitarian as well, reputable, warned us about something very important. I'm not sure if it's a video or a graphic, but a humanitarian showed us how important it is for us to reconsider some of the way in which we execute these efforts. And that's one of the reasons why we've been saying, get the technocrats, get the persons with the know-how. So Mr. Michael Capone, humanitarian leader and GEM founder, warns against harmful disaster relief tactics in Jamaica.
Listen to this.
Let me see if I can just read the summary of the article so that you all can get.
Yeah, man, me need to find the article here. Michael Capano, Capone, humanitarian leader. Let me Google this. Let me see if we can find the article here. Big up Panaja TV, Michael Capone. Oh, see it there. See if we can find the article here. I don't know. This thing here is. Try this. Michael Capone, humanitarian. I'm going to write all of it out and then copy and paste. Leader and GEM founder warns against harmful disaster relief tactics in Jamaica. I didn't even know that there were harmful practices. So I have to highlight this. I need to reach out to Perry. I need this article. Worldmusicviews.com. Okay. Worldmusicviews.com. Come on, man. Really? Go up on the Instagram. Ah, here it is. It says here that Mr. Michael Capone has released a statement following the government of Jamaica's announcement that is planned to deploy pre-built container homes as housing solutions for victims of Hurricane Melissa. Capone, a global humanitarian leader with decades of disaster response experience, argues that disaster relief must address not only immediate needs but also nation's long-term identity, stability, and economic future. In the aftermath of a major disaster, many international organizations rush in with solutions intended to provide rapid relief, Capone says. Yet history has shown that some of these interventions, while well-intentioned, can unintentionally harm the very communities they aim to support. He pointed to the mass importation of temporary housing trailers following Hurricane Katrina as a prime example. Units that offer quick shelter but later cause long-term complications, structural issues, environmental hazards, and the creation of sprawling trailer parks and become symbols of dysfunction rather than recovery. Capone stressed that this approach posed serious risk for Jamaica, whose global identity and economy rely heavily on cultural authenticity, natural beauty, and tourism. Jamaica is not just another location on the map. It is one of the world's most iconic tourism destinations, he said. Introducing large number of foreign prefabricated structures could fundamentally alter the visual landscape and culture atmosphere that millions travel to experience. Ladies and gentlemen, I am in agreement with this man. This man knows exactly what he's talking about. Imagine I'm 3,000. Like, people are already traumatized about how St. Elizabeth look versus how them know it look. I know in the rebuild, has there been a plant a tree initiative? Has there been a plant a tree initiative? Has anybody even thought about that? Has any of the experts thought about the vegetation plant a tree initiative? Is there anything like that going on? Can somebody tell me if there's anything like that going on in Jamaica? I think they need a plant a tree initiative. I think they need to be very strategic about replanting some trees. And also very deliberate about getting back our agricultural sector back on track. But a lot of these trees are just them brown. Is there a fertilizer initiative to give these trees some help so they can start springing up back? Trees play a very important role, you know, and that's another thing too. Trees actually produce oxygen. The less trees and leaves is the less oxygen. So in these areas where, you know, people are running these generators, it is going to heighten their risk of coming, you know, having health issues, because the oxygen is not, the trees are down. The trees are not producing any oxygen. Sassy D's word about our soursop, y'all. Please, people, can we get a plant some soursop initiative? Soursop is a very important plant for cancer healing. Facts. Can we have an intentional plant a tree initiative? No, the more I think about it, the more it's an excellent idea. We need a professional, calculated, deliberate plant a tree initiative. Not just any tree, not just any plant, but that has to do with the healing of the nation. This hurricane stripped us of a lot of that. You see, we can't do without God, you know. We can't do without God. Because God, a country that is saluting, praising, and following God's word, this effort would be effortless for the King, the ruler of all things, and everyone. It would be effortless to have everything spring up back. Effortless, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, Sassy would not have to worry about our soursop. Poor Sassy. Mighty God. Them say the link in the bio, but I don't know about that. I don't know if you find that the link there. Right? Them all have a YouTube channel, World Music Views. Let me see if they put out the thing with the brother. I don't see any video with him, you know. Them all the live stream. Can't believe someone else see nothing. I didn't even find the article though.
A gist of what we're talking about tonight. I believe it concerns heavily with the containers that are to be brought in, right? You know that the government is planning to have some initiative regarding housing with the NHT. Now, you know, on social media, a lot of persons are also, you know, very concerned about how that will be treated. So we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to look at. But I want to find the article just to read for you guys what exactly is the concern regarding the whole housing issues. Let me say this though, before we even get into that. You know, one of my biggest issue is, and I'm going to be transparent tonight, I know Labor Rights watch. I know Labor Rights watch PDTV. I know they watch. And I'm going to say this. For your sake and for the sake of Jamaica, stop playing politics. Stop playing politics. Look around you. Look at what is happening and making an appeal to the people of Jamaica.
You know, I don't really care if him thief the idea as long as it benefit Jamaica. I'm not running for office. And I'm not giving an idea that would directly benefit me. How you doing, Daniel? You know what would have directly benefited me and many other Jamaicans if we voted for the People's National Party on September 3rd and day 1. Yeah, man. I know that the People's National Party would have been more receptive to a Mark Stewart calling for 3 days fasting, a Jeffrey Shuttleworth, a Peter Chambers. I know they would have been more receptive. Yeah, man, human being needs trees. Definitely.
It is time to put politics aside. Stop trying to get up and defend the government every time somebody comes with serious concerns.
But you know what's funny though? You know what's funny? They are trying to defend the indefensible. There's nothing to defend. There's absolutely nothing to defend, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, I tell you, boy, when this hair starts growing back, boy, woo, boy, I'm trying to tell you, boy.
Every time somebody comes with constructive criticism, you have labor right supporters jumping on social media to try and twist narratives and try to make it seem as if the concerns that people are having, they are not genuine concerns or they shouldn't raise these concerns. It is not right. It's not healthy for constructive conversations. It's not constructive for the democratic process even. For every time people come out and try to call out the government, you have persons jumping up to make it seem as if it's a political conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not a political conversation. It is a matter of life and death. And here is another concern. In a detailed message, Global Empowerment Mission founder Michael Capone cautioned that large-scale importation of foreign disaster trailers could create long-term problems for Jamaica. This is not politics. These are the technocrats weighing in on the world-leading recovery that this government has been doing, according to the World Bank representative the other day. World example of a relief. That's what they say. But here is what the technocrats and the experts are saying, not politicians, persons who have the know-how. He noted that while such units offer rapid shelter, history shows that they can bring structural issues, environmental hazards, and the formation of trailer parks that ultimately damage communities rather than support recovery. His warning reflects lessons learned from previous disasters, including Hurricane Katrina. This is the classroom. We're going to learn something tonight. Capone stressed that Jamaica's global identity, its natural beauty, cultural atmosphere, and strong tourism economy could be undermined if large numbers of stark foreign trailers are deployed across the island. He explained that these temporary units could overshadow the island's historic communities and landscape, affecting visitor confidence and potentially weakening economic stability during an already fragile recovery period. So when the Prime Minister come and tell us that we are recovering quickly, the expert is saying that it is fragile. I rather to take the technocrats' word for it. He urged international organizations to adopt context-appropriate solutions that respect Jamaica's culture, architecture, and long-term welfare. Disaster response, he said, must protect a nation's future, not damage it, not jeopardize it, not just provide immediate relief. Capone emphasized that Jamaica deserves rebuilding strategies that strengthen families and communities with dignity, avoiding quick imports that may create problems in the name of speed. But ladies and gentlemen, we have seen quick imports from this government. Remember that this government spent $1.4 billion to quickly import very old yellow buses in the name of a quick solution to a problem. So we've seen quick imports before, Mr. Capone. It's nothing new.
You're right. Good morning.
So persons have been asking, just...
Egla, how you doing, Mr. How you doing? I'm good. Yeah, man, them choose Jamaica. They say...
As how Spice and others bring them cement and them block and them steel and them this and them that. Why can't the government...
Hey, shout out to my boy Chill in the building, man. What's up, Chill? What's up?
Go down that route. Listen, I am for temporary housing because the people need to go somewhere. What I am not for, though, is exploitation. And based on what I'm hearing, not all the houses that the government will be provided will be for free. Persons will still have to find some capital, some resource rather, to try and get housing for a time. Ladies,
how does a government look at a people that literally just lost everything, didn't have much in the first place? No, Perry is doing an excellent job. Right? And that's why I highlighted this specific portion of the show from last night. I agree with everything Perry is saying, you know. And listening to him makes me think and make me ask more questions. You understand what I'm saying?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are at a crossroads. We are at a crossroads. Ask yourself the question. I'm going to be asking the question every time I come on. Are we in a better place today? Are we better off under this third term? And I don't want nobody come blame Melissa. Long before Melissa came, we were seeing dark times under the third term so far. We were seeing dark times even before Melissa, so I don't want anybody use Melissa.
Why too loud?
But oops, Ishmael, it started already.
Alright.
It started already. People start say, Melissa, why they won't be able to do what they really want to do for the people. So Melissa could blow JLP election promises, of course, admits Holness. But you know, sometimes I don't like just reading the title. I want persons to hear what the Prime Minister said. I want persons to hear what the Prime Minister said. This is what the Prime Minister said, ladies and gentlemen.
Built-in excuse, hear
the
this.
Prime Minister, Dr. Andrew Holness, has signaled that his Jamaica Labour Party, JLP administration, may not be able to immediately fulfill some of the promises it made during campaigning for the September 3 general election. This is in light of the focus now being placed on getting the country back on track in the shortest possible time, following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa on October 28th, and the billions of dollars it will take to recover and rebuild. The Prime Minister is already letting you know that because of Hurricane Melissa, you're not going to get the raising of the minimum wage. Him already start use Melissa as a scapegoat. If we don't ball out tonight, is ball out! Whoa, we need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help.
One thing you can't go run ball out, you know. Big up Mark Stewart. Can't go run ball out. Right now, Jamaica fear ball out more than anything else. Ball out for mercy, ball out for forgiveness, ball out for help. All of them things that we're supposed to ball out for right now. Me say, if the people can't get their raise of pay, Andrew Holness government needs to drop them pay. You understand? Where you say prison management. That's how you go. But even remember, if Andrew Holness and his government cannot raise the people them pay, them need to drop for them pay. Jamaica cannot afford to pay the government the increases that they got on their pay. Given the situation that we have found ourselves in, we cannot afford it. We cannot afford it. Andrew Holness need to drop, bring back all of those monies to where they were. I was saying 30% from everybody, but anybody that got a 200 to 300% increase or a 100% increase, all of that needs to be cut in half. Cut in half, ladies and gentlemen. Point blank period. It needs to be cut in half. Let me know what you guys think.
Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thieves them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out from Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody. Man or woman.
So the Prime Minister is already letting you know. Don't bother look. You know minimum wage right now is so much of them jump up on the last legal day to campaign, on the last night to constitute.
Speaking about yeah, they didn't deserve the raise anyway. And they got the raise and then they haven't been performing. So them double don't deserve it. So that need to cut back. But I want to say this to the labor rights them that is talking about PMP vloggers campaigning already and talking about the PMP campaigning for the next election. When everything that the labor rights do, from Andrew Holness goes straight down, he's still in campaign mode. And let me tell you why. He knows within his heart that he did not win that election fairly. And they are constantly trying to validate an invalid position that they're in. And this is why the labor rights them constantly, they are insecure. The labor rights are quite insecure. They are constantly in campaign mode. Constantly. That's why them depend on the defensive so much. And you know, all of the criticism that has come their way, rightfully so, they have to be, you know, trying to defend themselves. So this article about him not being able to fulfill promises that he made in his election campaign, this is why you should not make promises that are too far-fetched. You should make gauged promises, because what you have to do is factor in, I don't know, a category 5 storm in Jamaica, because they talk a lot about climate change, but yet still in their planning, climate change is not something that they plan for. In their promising us things to win an election, you know, climate change is not something that guides them when they are promising people stuff. They just tell you what you want to hear and you gullibly go out there and vote for them. On the last day, right? What? You see an old place up on fire? What the hell? What happened to Usain Bolt place? Breaking news.
Traditionally, so to speak, campaign. When the Prime Minister say big increase for the minimum wage, them run go choose Jamaica. But the same Prime Minister is letting you know, don't look for that right now. Because
doesn't the people deserve the increase and need it now? Food are gonna go up. You see who suffers again? You see who suffers again? You see who the burden company and who is not rewarded again? So when our next hurricane come next year, it's going to be our next excuse. Why them not fulfill them promise? The devil is a liar. And this is the cycle, a perpetual cycle by the JLP government that you guys have accepted on 1 p.m. Yeah, in the campaign mode 24/7. When they hear him say, this government, imagine. No, Andrew Holness, you have to come down. You have to come down. You have to come down. Yes, yes, dangerous. Yes, dangerous. Hold on there.
So when you look at this housing development at Edmund Ridge,
yes,
you see the quality of the housing that is developed here.
Yes.
This is nothing like Operation Pride. I want to make that point clear. Here, what this government has done, really nothing like Operation Pride. I want to make that.
So, Edmund Bartlett and him do some housing solutions. And he had to take a shot at Operation Pride. He could have said this is a housing solution that is unprecedented in Jamaica. Instead of trying to tear down Operation Pride, he could have just lifted up himself. But Andrew Holness is always in campaign mode. So every single chance he gets to criticize the People's National Party for whatever they did in the past, he takes that opportunity. Because, let me tell you something, and this is just the fact of the matter. And a lot of people are going to be upset about this, but it's just the truth. When you compare the Jamaica Labour Party and the PMP is the GOAT. The PMP is Michael Jordan. Samia Hill, how you doing, darling? The PMP is Michael Jordan, and Andrew Holness is LeBron. Constantly trying to prove that he's the GOAT, while never have he been the GOAT. Constantly trying to prove that he's the one that can grow the economy, while never growing the economy. Constant, eh? Philip, you call him? So you're going? Or you need a call? Oh, interesting. Eh? Hold on there. I want the Philip of service. Hold on there, people. Hold on there, my people. Hold on there. Woman says she need credit. There's so much credit I have. Alright. Sorry about that, guys. Emergency. Alright, there we go. Back to it. Sorry about that, my good people. That was an emergency. I am still here with you. Alright, so, like I said before, Andrew Holness is in constant campaign mode. He takes every opportunity, and it's so funny how he is so fickle and so thin-skinned for criticism. When he was campaigning all those years against the PMP, he did not spare any chance to criticize the government. Remember the famous food in the basket and how much you can get from minimum wage? You don't remember that? Why? What do you mean, why are we get put pampas? Because this is where the credit is. The credit of the police a phone I've sent my mother. This is a digital phone and this is a Lime. Saturday, alright? You good? Saturday, you subscribe to both of my platforms. You alright? You straight? Okay? You good? Saturday, why you give me trouble? Oh God, somebody said Bolo sell out himself. What happened with Bolo?
Point clear. So if you compare what this government has done relative to what the previous governments have done, then you can come to the conclusion that something good is going on in a Jamaica. Because if you compare these kinds of development to Operation Pride developments, then your conclusion would be that what was happening before was Operation Shame. And it is these developments that we are doing now that is really creating communities of pride, communities in which the homeowners feel that they have a really good investment, a really respectful investment, an investment in shelter that gives them dignity.
The zinc was flying.
Yo, Andrew Holness is the second beat them bad, and unfortunately the people that believe in it suffer. Unfortunately the people that bought these houses are suffering. You know see that? Look at this, man. Listen what the lady said. Zinc was flying.
Dignity.
The zinc was flying, and it's like you can see the breeze coming in every direction. North, south, east, west.
Andrew Holness should be ashamed of yourself. Big up Atlanta, Georgia. Andrew Holness, you should be ashamed of yourself. You sold the people a bag of goods of rotten candy. Whenever see candy are rotten, that is how bad it is. Drywall for days, Antonio. Drywall for days. Kingsley Garden, why are you not typing real words? What's going on? Carefully here, tread softly. I'm not do spamming thing over here, saying. Drywall for days. When I say drywall, the way the wall them staying in the house, I can go some broke them without any effort. Drywall for days. Not real wall like this. You hear that? Not real wall like that. Drywall for days. And the same Operation Pride thing when Andrew talked about. Those houses are still standing. I'm still standing. Not to say that a disaster can come and knock them, but Andrew, God put you to shame. You get exposed again. And you know what's bad? Let me tell you, it's like Andrew Holness compounds his shame. If you listen to these people, they were told that you get the credit in the moment, you call him? Yeah. Yeah, so they were told that they should go and speak to this insurance company. No visit from Andrew Holness. Now he visited the place to promote it and tell us that this is Operation Pride. But when shame come down upon the operation, when if he stand in responsibility and be accountable for selling the people them rotten candy, him gone, him fly out, him left the country, and him left the people them in this community to fend for themselves. I don't know how many more examples Jamaican people need. I don't give people so much chance. I don't. You only get a few chances with me. I want to see that you actually are rotten to the core and you cannot be trusted. I have no dealings with you. Especially in business, when I spend my millions of dollars. Every single home owner should be on social media right now, burning out Andrew Holness and Edmund Bartlett. Full burnout. Viral. People have bought houses and haven't even reached it at them yet and then blow down. Mash up, roof gone. What can go so? 3-card man indeed. 3-card man indeed.
Yes, three of us that live here. Myself, my wife, and 8 old son. And this is the aftermath of this house is.
Yo, whatever they put in the walls, it bent up. It looked like some cheap iron. Whatever they put in the walls of those houses, Edmund Ridge Estate, St. James. Whatever they put in those walls, the walls bent up. I've never seen nothing like this.
St. James East Central, Edmund Ridge Estate, that was the name of
Could
the minister.
Every angle of the house blew away and roof gone by the roof. Everything compromised. It was structure compromised.
I understand that the Prime Minister came by, Almara, but they never come this side to look at the damage.
So the Prime Minister came by for another side, but they never come this side with them there.
We purchase this house from the HAJ Housing Agency of Jamaica.
And let me tell you something. You see, agency them with Andrew Holness government I work with. May I put it this way? And this is personal. You don't have to think the way I think. If Andrew Holness have something to do with it, I don't want to be a part of it. If he is involved in any way, shape, or form in the development of any structure that is to be sold to me, I don't want it to buy. The man is poison, in my opinion. Poison. Everything he touches, skullduggery. Everything. Everything. The man whole life is skullduggery. Can't be certified. Mighty God.
And they don't even come to our meeting with the residents. Some of us are still sleeping in our cars or homes or totally.
The people that may buy them $1 million house if you sleep in a car. Nobody no come meet to the resident them yet. When this video was done. For context. Don't know if they go to them. What a damn shame. This was on the 11th of the 11th that video I put out. But I believe it was before that, you know. To the hour. Yeah, I think around the same time, yeah.
And they don't even have anything from my office. Just directly to the issue. I am been here since December will be 2 years.
How old is the complex?
The complex about 3 years, 3, 4 the most. It's a new complex.
You were looking at the material that was used to construct the house.
Paper drywalling. Materials are substantial.
Paper drywalling. The materials are substandard. People, me not exaggerate. This computer is more solid than the wall within the house. This is more solid than the wall within the house. This could be used and have more resistance than the wall within the house. This heavier than the wall within the house. I kid you not. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Real talk. Look how the man hold up the thing. You ever see cardboard? A cardboard. And them have some little foam thing in the middle of the cardboard. And then paint it and slab it. And them have some iron thing in between that for the two sides. These are the walls that they make in America where you can punch through. You ever see man them at the show? And the man them punch through wall and them wall there. Soft, man. Make them come at Jamaica, come try punch them here. Them broke them knuckles. Broke. All of them will have punch wall America. Make them come punch them wall here at Jamaica. And see what happened to them. Hospital. You hear me I tell you? But Andrew Holness, boy, I don't know, yo, you're different, brother.
You're giving me what's for long, yeah.
You're different, hombre. You're different. You're different, man. I tell you, you're different.
Because let me ask you a question. You believe that the intention was to fulfill any of these promises from the get-go?
Good question.
You think you ask yourself the question?
Good
Do you
question.
believe the intention was to fulfill some of these promises? So you know what the narrative is going to be? And where
Someone asked you the same question. Do you believe that Andrew Holness government had any intentions of fulfilling their promises from the election? Yeah, man, I think of some Chinese contractor with you. So, in the video, you see the Chinese brother. I don't know if he's Chinese, one of the Asian them. Because you know them funny, I don't want to disrespect nobody and them nationality. One of the Asian community. Chinese, Japanese, I don't know them different. Yes? But one of them, me see, have an Atana go through the building with Andrew. Do you know? Do you think that these people had any intention giving Andrew Holness track record with promises? Do you think that it was his intention? And if the answer is no, why the Labour right then vote for Andrew? Hey, Andrew salt, you know? Andrew Holness a go down as the saltest Prime Minister. What? Man, I'm do work, man. Yes, my boss. A long time I tell him that tree they want to cut, you know. Every time I chop them pass, the tree so chop them so tall, it a lick on them. The only bad part is a little shed, so when people are walking, shed them from the sun. You know them way there? But it needed to be cut still, I'm not lie. That tree there is older, and the earth, one of them dropped down. And if they not be proactive like what them are doing now, them wire there, the next time a disaster comes, it will tear down them wire there. And this is one of the things them. I feel like JPS will be responsible for. Who is monitoring JPS? Is there a contract where JPS has to maintain their lines and cut down the trees them on a regular basis? Now, I will say this. The government can't hold JPS to account and not holding itself to account. What do I mean by that? Well, we have drains to clean. And we need a comprehensive system of cleaning drains every 6 months or every 4 months. 3 times a year, 2 times a year minimum. The drains them all over Jamaica should be clean. Gaza blocks, we are dealing with. You understand? 3 times a year or 2 times a year minimum. The drains them should be clean in Jamaica. But they don't have a comprehensive system like that. And Jamaica government is not being held accountable. And Jonas has told us that all he needs is the Labour right to hold him accountable. Think about that for a minute. All they need is the Labour right to hold him accountable. You mean the same Labour right to make excuse for everything them do? Jamaica ball out. Jamaica ball out. You don't remember when Andrew Holness said that? Say all he needs is the Labour right them to hold him accountable. Who remember? Who remember? Let me say what I remember. Who remember when he said that? Them don't need no opposition. All them need are the Labour right. Him own the people them to hold the government accountable. The same Labour right them that has I don't hear one Labour right come from media and criticize Andrew Holness government. Andrew Holness is always doing the right thing according to the Labour right them. Him don't do nothing wrong. The country is running very, very well. And them are going to claim that the response from the government was excellent. Even the fact is, people never get aid until 7 days after they don't see government. 2 weeks after, in some place they don't see government. 3 weeks after, they don't see government. And right now, some people still don't see government. Because Andrew Holness told us that there are areas that are not mapped, not on their system, that very well could have communities there, and very well are marooned and hasn't gotten any aid yet. He said that 2 days ago. And when we did it on social media and I said, people are dead for hungry and them chop and they not no food and water and the government don't reach them yet. They say we are gaslight and we are tear down the country.
Approaching a break soon. Here's the tactic. Here's the tactic. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Because of Hurricane Melissa.
Yes.
And the recovery efforts.
Yes.
We were not able to, reasonably so, fulfill the promises that were made during the 2025 general elections.
Yeah.
In light of that, We are asking for a fourth term, so that we can fulfill the promises that we made for September 3. Almighty God, Almighty God.
Help, help. We out of the ladder.
We need your divine intervention. We're tired of the labor right.
No, that's exactly what Andrew Holness campaign done, you know. All the work that they did in the second and the first term. Give us the third term so we can continue the good work, Jamaica. Don't change course. Stick to the evil way you know. When you stick to the evil one, you know a hurricane minister come mash you up. When you never remember when them say that. Stick to the evil one, you know. When you stick to the evil one, you know a hurricane minister come mash up Jamaica. Plague come mash up Jamaica now. Leptospirosis, all I fly them, I bug them, all I elements them. Insects, rodents, water keep rising. Right? Jamaica national team curse. Can't win a game to save their life for World Cup. Miss Universe drop off. Whoop. Thank God she never hurt. But a symbol of Jamaica fall. Prophetic utterances of an earthquake and a tsunami to come. More judgment. 40 days Jamaica under watch with God for. Angels them already here, drawn their sword and ready, and I wait upon God to give the commandment according to the prophetic word. Jamaica is cursed at this point. We have lost God's favor. And this man is going to tell you, if given the opportunity, that give us a fourth term so we can continue what we never get to do in that third term. Pay and fulfill promises. I want to vote him in back. The ones them that voted. Whether they stole the election or not. Enough people voted to make it appear as if them win. Ball out Jamaica.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to a break. Soon come. Soon.
Big up yourself. Big up yourself, my general. Big up yourself. Big up yourself, boss.
I'm going to talk about it tonight. Am I allowed to bust my mouth tonight and talk?
Bust your mouth, Andre. Bust your mouth.
Am I allowed to bust my mouth tonight and talk about it?
Me get go over this. Bust your mouth.
Am I allowed, Jamaica?
Yes. Bust your mouth, General. Bust your mouth. Bust your mouth, brother. Never get to go over that one at all. Just bust your mouth and talk.
Am I allowed?
Yes.
Am I allowed to talk?
Please.
I want to.
Crazy.
In a time like this, when the country is experiencing perilous times.
Yes.
Andrew Holness has gone to South Africa and left sleeping Horace Chan in charge of the country. Ishmael, put it up for me. The Prime Minister has left Jamaica. The Prime Minister has left Courtney. The Prime Minister of Jamaica has left to go on to South Africa, and the people of Jamaica. The people of Jamaica. People of Jamaica homeless tonight, Courtney. And the man traveled Ghana, South Africa. And taxpayers' money, Jamaica, and expect that we must be silent. How inconsiderate of him! I want to ask you, the foreign minister is there. Why never send Kamina Johnson-Smith to the foreign mission? What is the purpose of Kamina Johnson-Smith? What is the purpose, Jamaica, of Kamina Johnson-Smith?
And that's a good question, you know. You know what Andrew Holness does? He tries to micromanage everything and he just wants the glory. That's what I get from him. He's narcissistic bad. He's full of himself bad. So instead of Kamina Johnson-Smith being afforded the opportunity to do her job, he have enough up for himself. Remember the interview with his wife? Pandy Gleaner, when she say enough, she enough too, you know, you understand? But she say enough. She a woman, she can enough. She have leeway for enough. But she say enough. Who remember?
Time like this, Courtney, the country is crying out. The Prime Minister has failed to visit the maroon communities. The Prime Minister has failed to visit several communities.
And that's a good point. Andrew Holness' failure to visit the maroon community. He don't have any intention to visit the maroon communities. He doesn't care. That's my opinion. I believe Andrew Holness wouldn't mind if the maroon them dead off. Just naturally just dead off. You know why? So they can go now and claim the land them and all the backside. So they can deal with them foreign investors, private and investors and partners. I believe if Andrew Holness had the power, an act of natural occurrence for the maroon them just dead off. He would have want them dead off. I believe that. That's my opinion. It's not based in fact. And I have the right to my opinion. And he has done things that make me think that of him. Yeah, man. He has done things that him only see money. Him only see money. He means a greedy, vicious individual. Oh my God. No man, the man them a trim down that tree there to size, man. Man, yo, the man then take off too massively man for that tree there. If that tree there decide to drop now, it go drop in the property over that side and not in the road. And then no wire in the so that's good. All the things that we want to know so nobody now die if it drop down. God forbid. But the man them a work, Bridget. A JPS man them there? Or a private contractor? Oh, them a work, man.
And the Prime Minister got a G20 summit. The Prime Minister left you people in Westmoreland, St. James, St. Elizabeth, Hanover, Trelawney, St. Anne, Manchester,
St. Mary.
You are telling me
East Portland.
that is what you call the caring leader?
No, he's not. He's not.
You chose Jamaica. Portia Simpson Miller wouldn't do that to you.
No, Miss Dallas. Feel free to laugh. I can be animated. I can be animated. Even when I'm serious, some people, you know, and I think that's good. Because I don't want to come off as a grizzly bear or a monster. I think the animatedness along with the conversation, it strikes a good balance to get the point across and keep you engaged.
Portia wouldn't do that to you. Bruce Squally wouldn't do that to it. Siaga wouldn't do that to it. PJ wouldn't do that to it. Peter Phillips wouldn't do that to it. And surely, Mark Jefferson Golding wouldn't have done that to us.
Mark Golding ain't not gone away. Mark Golding was not leaving Jamaica at this time. No way. But you see, I'm gonna tell you. A lot of people are, and I was listening to Mystic Sensation. A lot of people expect Mark Golding to be doing certain things now that is unfair because he's not the government and he cannot pretend to be the government or try to circumvent the actual ruling party. All right? He's not allowed to do that. He only can operate within his parameters. And I know, you see the same way Mark Golding has been on the ground campaigning before the election for 1 whole year, you would have seen the same energy of Mark Golding. I'm not even saying that he's not doing it because the media is not covering Mark Golding. The media is not covering him. They continue to spite the People's National Party. They continue to put a false narrative out there against the PMP in the benefit of the JLP. I'm calling out all media, major media houses on that. That's facts. That's facts.
Papa, that 2.0. Me and Matley wouldn't do that to our country.
No, sir.
Ralph Gonzalez wouldn't do that to the people of St. Vincent.
Definitely not.
Gaston Brown wouldn't do that to the people of Antigua.
True, true.
But Jamaica, you are telling me tonight, over 150,000 Jamaicans displaced, homeless, rather than a prime minister stay and say foreign minister go deal. Or Jamaica, let me say one more thing. In a time, you remember when Portia did make the money for travel? And he used to complain, say Portia travel too much. He said, Jamaica, remember his words. Ismail, remember? He said Portia could go to the Zoom meeting. Why him couldn't do Zoom meeting? Why him couldn't do StreamYard? Why him couldn't ball out? Why him couldn't do Zoom meeting? Why him couldn't do Zoom meeting? Ball out!
I think that's a fair question. I think that's a fair question. Andrew, why you couldn't do Zoom meeting? Choose Jamaica.
And take why him never stay and take him own advice. Me I go read out when they tell Portia. Right? Opposition leader Andrew Holness suggested in Jamaican Parliament that Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller should use Skype for government's international affairs to save on travel costs instead of traveling frequently.
I cannot tell you that, but what is being done is that there's a...
Why him never stay and take him own advice? Me I go read out when they tell Portia. Right? Opposition leader Andrew Holness suggested in Jamaican Parliament that Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller should use Skype for government's international affairs to save on travel costs instead of traveling frequently.
I cannot tell you that.
Whoa, we need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament.
Exactly, man.
Shift the election. Shift everything.
Yes, man, exactly.
When could I use the styling?
Care about the people.
He could have do Zoom meeting Jamaica. Why him couldn't do Zoom meeting? Why couldn't he have said, my people are under pressure? It's not Jamaica. Jamaica, I'm gonna say this to you. Your country is in crisis. Half of your nation is homeless. And you're telling me you couldn't do a Zoom meeting to go and discuss what is being had at the G20 summit?
Madness, fam.
I want to ask you all tonight. And to those who have a conscience, those who know emotional intelligence,
exactly.
Those who know about care and him leave the country to run by Ramesh. Him leave the country to run by Ramesh. Because that's why Ramesh did the press meeting, Courtney. Him leave the Ramesh to do the legwork and him come to the optics. And Ramesh shouldn't be able to turn Prime Minister. Think about it tonight, Jamaica. Think about it tonight. Think about it, YouTube and TikTok. How would you have felt? Your mother, or in this context, your father, As a father, your children are homeless. Hungry. Your children are hungry. Your children have no beds to sleep. And you are invited.
No, you know, sir. This is our next sign again, though. This is our next sign again, you know. Wow. This is another sign. Wow. Wow. I just saw the fire. Let me read this article here. Tracks and records damaged by fire in Montego Bay. St. James, the building which houses the popular Tracks and Records restaurant on Jimmy Cliff Boulevard in Montego Bay, was damaged by fire Saturday morning. Reports coming forward about that around 1:40 a.m. fire was observed coming from the building, and the Jamaica Fire Brigade was alerted. 2 units from Montego Bay Fire Station responded to the blaze and managed to contain it after 2 hours of firefighting operations. Reports are that it was the roof area that was mainly affected by the blaze, but it caved in and fell into the establishment, causing extensive damage. The fire brigade is yet to establish the cause of the blaze, but investigations are now ongoing to make a determination. Estimation cost is about $1 million. Wow. 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 Let me go to Instagram. Let me go to Instagram. Instagram of the clip. The Gleaner. Oh God. The Gleaner. Jamaica Gleaner. All right. You guys see the clip already? Wait a minute. E-Right, can you send me that clip? You're telling me that Pastor Shuttleworth prophesied and said to pray for Usain Bolt? Hold on there. When was this? Me not even dispute say that up. Me just want to know when. When did Pastor Shuttleworth tell them to pray for Usain Bolt? That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. I'm going to show you the video. Mighty God. Wow. Somebody said, what is going on? I rebuke it. You rebuke it? You can't rebuke it. Ladies and gentlemen, our legend, our track star, Usain Bolt. This right here, sir, have to be a sign. This have to be a sign. Let me see if I can find any title with Usain Bolt. But how much we can find it? Pray for Usain Bolt.
The God, but when I have time, it's easy for me to look it up in the archives. It's already been published. This man's name was already called. I've called so many names. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of names that have been called here. Stars, singers, pastors. Sometimes the Lord just gives a group of people when he talks about rappers that he's going to judge them, that he's going to bring out what they have done to achieve their fame. Sometimes it's an individual name, sometimes it's just a group of people, but many names have been called here. If your name has been called here and the Lord has told you to repent, that is the highest honor that God can give you. However, if you reject the repentance, you start to mock and scoff and trample on it. Your prophecy often changes. The door shuts against you. The plate of mercy that was being handed to you is withdrawn, and then I usually come back with a prophecy that says that you have been judged and you will be removed.
But yeah, man, this have to be a sign, people. But that's how we wait on confirmation from the prophet them. This have to be a sign. You have to me say Miss Universe fell. I know this happened to Usain Bolt restaurant. You can't make this up. I don't know what this is, but let's listen.
People don't know what's coming, they just don't know what's coming, they don't know what's coming. What's coming is so evil, it is so dark, it is so wicked. Oh, God. A lot of people. You're just gonna die. Oh God. Nothing right now, nothing. Nothing can fill the void of what I'm feeling. No, you just don't know what's coming. If you ever see what's coming, if you ever see what is coming, it is coming to kill. It is.
Oh, the lady. See her in a couple video already. And what check her out. Oh, couple things I don't want to share with you now. Something different, you know. Now,
Alright, I'm in Mount Pelican.
Alright, this lady is declaring that this water is spring water and it's fresh. Until you get the authorities them test the water there, I don't think you guys should follow that. Send it to you.
These people don't know what's
Yeah, it's long enough. 9 minutes, so. Are you that? Yeah, that's something I was sure to talk about here, so.
St. James, and a spring has erupted in the road. Look behind me. Look how pretty the water is. This is what's really bothering me about this. You see really pristine views and then the devastation that comes around it. This was part of a main road. The spring came up, eroded portion of the road.
So like right here, so look, I saw it look like a small runway where water off our road when coming up. And then this sort of
By this, Dante's referring to his community's newest freshwater spring. It has multiple waterfalls and developed in the wake of Hurricane Melissa.
Up here, you see kids swimming in it, and it's actually fresh water coming from a spring underground. So this is actually clean water.
No, that part, I would not take that advice from her. The water has not been tested. The water might look clean, but please take caution, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to drink the water, boil the water. And the most responsible thing me can tell you. You're welcome, Sassy. Exactly, baseman. So I just wanted to say that because, you know.
You have to catch it at a certain location if you want to drink it, but to swim in it, bathe in it, and just enjoy the water, that is okay. And in fact, some of the people here are already doing that.
And for these children who say they've been searching for a distraction in the midst of tragedy, the road spring has been a reason to smile.
All right, guys, I'm in Mount Pelican, St. James, and a spring has erupted in the road.
And this is an example why I say you should be careful.
Can't see nobody come to the area. No matter, let it water when you have to be no drinking water, no matter. River water, a bump up with skin. If you ever gonna get clear ration, then you know, you post somebody to want to see. If you crowd that come out, you show it no we're not getting no water. No water. No water. Can't tell us no water, no water. I don't know if post somebody to I see people them are rush out to your house. No, not all. You know, I said, nobody no member we up here so. If people them hungry, can't get no feed. People what we have can't put them there because there's no feed up here. We don't have no house, no gym. Rain fall today, the house them wake up back same way how we don't know things. No, not all there, man. We are no. You know, say, I post set up people come there and come give away food. But they are hungry for a week. You can't see nobody come to the food. No matter, let it water when you have to be no drinking water, no matter. River water, a bump up with skin. If you ever gonna get clear.
When you hear that? The river water bump up their skin. People, please be careful. Please be careful. The water might look clean, but please be careful. When you hear me say, Chaja, this was 1 week ago this was posted, so basically them people they never see nobody till about 2 weeks. You understand what I say? No food, no water, be a picnic there. Alright? Me a whole heap of things that we can share with you, but.
Já salva esse vídeo para você depois, quando você for fazer.
That's an awful plant. Like guys, you see this, so me I go show you look on this.
Look at that. Free energy for everyone. Why they're not making it? Can anybody tell me in the comments why they're not making devices like that in all of the houses? Why they're not making devices like that in all over the world? If you could do it, we could have literally free energy. That's what Nikola Tesla wanted to do. Look, free energy. I'm not gonna believe it. Bro, he can run 24/7 for 365 days. 24/7, all the time. Look, you could power your computer, bro. Not paying not even a single cent. You know what I'm saying? But they're not gonna make it, because they're not gonna make money. Simple. Look at that. Free energy.
I don't know if you guys
look at that.
I don't know if you guys are aware of this or if you ever tried it. But I'm gonna send this to my brother. My brother is somebody that you know, he's good with his hands. And I'm gonna ask him to make something like this and we're gonna test it. Because if this thing works, it's gonna solve a lot of problems, especially when the lights go out. Sealer. That's what they call a sealer, ladies and gentlemen. Seal is seal. This right here, this technology, this method is going to enable people to actually do without electricity when they don't have electricity, but still this device here that was made.
Free energy for everyone.
Look at
why
that.
They're not making it? Can anybody tell me in the comments why they're not making devices like that?
Look
in
at that.
All of the houses. Why they're not making devices
Look at that.
like that in all over the world? If you could do it, we could have literally free energy.
I believe that's copper wire or fine threaded copper wire wrap over that. And you have a magnet, then you have this round thing with 4 magnets. Once you spin it, the magnet is what keeps it turning. I've seen previous videos of that. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. See a real leader, yeah? Flagstaff. This man did not take a flight to go overseas. He's with his people. Unlike Andrew Holness. It is important for the people to see the leader of the country in a time like this, standing in solidarity with them, understanding what they're going through, actually caring first. If you care, it's going to drive you to work for the people even more. You see, you can't fake caring, you know. It's either you care or you don't care. You understand? And some people don't care to see that the man don't care. Look at the leader of the Maroons. The man is traversing through every single Maroon town all over the island. Yes? Carrying aid to the people. Chocho. Big up Chief Curry. And hey, how you doing, Roslyn? Roslyn said, remember that electricity comes from the ether. Electricity is all around. You know? The man, look what the man have to do for reach the people. Our JPS there. Eh? Look at that. Just to clear the road. They have to help themselves be. Wow. Yeah, the music. They can't take the music. But the man, they might help themselves, brother. Look on the levels where they might go for reach the people, them. Huh? Look at that. Yo, Andrew Holness, boy, brother. You see, when people say Andrew are doing enough, and then when you see other leaders and how they move, you can't tell me, say, you can't turn a blind eye to that, brother. I can't do it, bro. I refuse to do it. Any means necessary. Black road or no black road, them are reach the people, them. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Who not tell me, say? Who not tell me, say? Man, them set out for a mission. And if a night come for them reach the mission, they know say people them depend on them. Clear road. And them say one clear the road, they never see them clear the road. And them say one clear the road, they block. Wow. Wow. Big up Chief Curry. Yeah, man.
You're a member of parliament. Dwayne Vaz here. You're a member of parliament for Central Westmoreland. Many of you would remember when I spoke in parliament the other day accusing the minister and his ministry of politicizing the distribution of resources from the government. And they denied what I said. The Prime Minister even went on his high horse and tried to deny what was being said. But what I can say is that since then, the ministry has been down here twice without consultation with me, the Member of Parliament. They were here on Tuesday, and it was late in the evening when I was made aware that they were here distributing resources, even though the former Member of Parliament was informed and was there. Today, the minister himself was in Central Westmoreland without consulting with me as the Member of Parliament, distributing resources, and guess where? At the house of a labor rights activist in Sablamar. That is where they were today, distributing the resources from the government. No consultation with me, as usual, but yet they claim that they are not politicizing the distribution of resources. I am saying what the minister and the ministry is doing must stop right now. This is not about PNP or JLP. We are trying our best to reach everybody in this disaster. We know the place was devastated. People need help. It is not time now to be trying to pick out who is who or trying to look props from distributing resources. So what I'm saying going forward, we would appreciate if the minister would make consultation with me and my team when you're coming in or when you are going to distribute any resources from the government. Dwayne Vaz here. You're a member of parliament for...
Ladies and gentlemen, it's not debatable anymore whether or not the Jamaica Labour Party is politicizing the aid and the relief. It's not debatable. There's no debate. You hear what I said? No debate. You know what's not a debate? This.
You guys, Apple has just released a digital ID for identification and U.S. passports. Here we go. Now, reports say they will be merged.
So all I want to love Apple. Right now, if I look on my iPhone, I'm supposed to can see the software. If I don't update it, it's supposed to come to the phone. All I want to love Apple. Apple is leading the way with digital ID. The Beast system. Hello.
Their biometric security with encrypted ID storage and plans to replace your physical IDs across airports, apps, and businesses. Why don't I like this? They also said that this is going to be used at over 250 TSA checkpoints across domestic airports for identity verification. Now, remember I told you guys about one of the richest men on earth, Larry Ellison, who owns TikTok and Oracle, and who's a big fan of digital IDs? Well, it seems like one big master plan between all of the big tech companies. You have Microsoft dealing with OpenAI, OpenAI dealing with NVIDIA, NVIDIA dealing with Oracle, XAI dealing with NVIDIA, and not to mention, OpenAI just did a $38 billion deal with Amazon for cloud storage. So the question is, what are they really planning? Well, I may have some answers. Could it be that they're following in the footsteps of China's Skynet, which is tied to digital IDs, a social credit score, and an AI surveillance system that they actually want to put on the moon? Skynet, huh? Why does this sound familiar? That's because it's the same name as the killer artificial intelligence in Terminator, Skynet. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. It's always in the movies. Make sure you guys go to my YouTube.
Bro, like this, so this is a coincidence, right? This is a coincidence. Skynet in Terminator. Terminator that tried to take out human beings forever. Robots. So this is a coincidence. Alright.
YouTube Maverick Approach where I do more breakdowns on this, but let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
Anyway, just to, share this. We've always heard that, black people in America commit the most crime. Well, let's hear from this young man, this teenager.
If you seriously believe that 13% of the population and 50% of the crime, you need to get backchecked, and I'm about to do it to you. In 2016, white people committed 70% of the convicted crime, and black people only committed 27%. Then in 2017, white people committed 68% of the reported crime, and black people only committed 26% of it. And in 2024, white people committed 53% of the reported crime, while black people only committed 25%. So this narrative on 13% of the population, 50% of the crime is wrong. You know who actually commits 50% of the crime? White people. But guess what stat black people are 13% of the population and 50% in? Exonerations. When they're wrongly convicted, all you're doing by spreading this fake fact is allowing more people to profile and be racist towards black people. What's the highest percentage of people who are victims of white people? Black people. And if you look at all the shootings, guess who are the shooters? White dudes. So let's all think long and hard on who actually commits 50% of the crime. If you seriously believe that 13% of the population and 50% of the crime, you need to get backchecked, and I'm about to do it to you. In 2016, white people committed 70% of the convicted crime, and black people only committed 27%. Then in 2017, white people committed 68% of the reported crime, and black people only committed 26% of it. And in 2024, white people committed 53% of the reported crime, while black people only committed 25%. So this narrative on 13% of the population, 50% of the crime is wrong. You know who actually commits 50% of the crime? White people. But guess what stat black people are 13% of the population and 50% in? Exonerations. When they're wrongly convicted, all you're doing by spreading this fake fact is allowing more people to profile and be racist towards black people. What's the highest percentage of people who are victims of white people? Black people. And if you look at all the shootings, guess who are the shooters? White dudes. So let's all think long and hard on who actually commits 50% of the crime.
So, black men have gotten a bad rap in regards to the crime in America, black people overall. It is said that they commit most of the crime while being a small portion of the population. Well, that young man just destroyed that argument. Just wanted to just throw that out there. I do listen to overseas stuff, but I'm not limited to what is happening in Jamaica. But however, I have to say that Jamaica needs my full attention. There's just too much going on. And I have to play my part in pointing the people in God's direction so we can save this country. Help to save it by repenting. Because if we don't, it's total destruction. A lot of destruction, a lot of deaths, a lot of tragedy, a lot of mourning. And, you know, as bad as Holness is, I don't wish harm on him and his family. You know, again, if that is God's will, there's nothing I can do about it. But I personally don't want to see Andrew harmed. Pastor Shuttleworth said to pray for him. You understand? And this is not the time to be silent. This is the time to raise your voice in concert against what is wrong. Alright? In this country. So, bless up on yourself. For some reason, I sign us a hack up from wake up. But that is good. Sooner or later. Alright? Bless up. Look more. Thanks for watching. 12 o'clock on the dot, almost. What?